God says. Before you hear another word, don't skip. What you are about to hear is not an ordinary love story. It begins with a moment your soulmate never expected. They closed their eyes for only a heartbeat, and suddenly they found themselves standing in a place that felt more real than reality itself. The air was peaceful, the light was warm, and then they saw a little child running toward them with the brightest smile they had ever seen. That child looked into their eyes, then whispered your name. In that instant, everything around them became silent. Their hearts started racing because they somehow knew this wasn't imagination. It felt like a glimpse of a future they had never dared to believe was possible. Then the child reached out, held their hand, and pointed towards someone standing in the distance. It was you. The emotion was so overwhelming that tears began falling before they even understood why. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next part of this vision changes everything they thought they knew about your connection. They tried to ignore what they had seen, telling themselves it was only a strange dream. But the feeling refused to leave. Every detail remained crystal clear. The child's laughter, the warmth of your presence, and one unforgettable sentence echoed again and again inside their heart. Don't let fear steal what was always meant to find you. Those words shook them more than anything else because they carried a peace they had never experienced before. Since that moment, they have been looking at your connection differently. Small signs began appearing everywhere, reminding them of that mysterious vision. They couldn't explain it to anyone because they feared nobody would understand. Yet deep inside, they knew they had witnessed something that would stay with them forever. Don't skip. Every second is leading to a revelation that becomes even more unbelievable. What happened next is the reason they couldn't stop crying. As the vision slowly faded, the child turned back one final time and smiled with complete confidence, as if there was no doubt that your paths were deeply connected. Then everything disappeared, but the tears remained. They weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of hope, relief, and the realization that some bonds reach far beyond what the eyes can see today. Since that unforgettable moment, your soulmate has carried one silent question in their heart every single day. What if this vision was shown for a reason? The answer didn't come immediately, because an even greater revelation was still waiting, and what unfolds next will make the entire vision far more meaningful than anyone could have imagined. Have you ever wondered why some moments refuse to leave your heart? Don't skip, because what your soulmate discovered after that vision was even more impossible to explain. For days, they tried to push it away, but every quiet moment brought the same picture back. They could still see that child's eyes, not because they were familiar, but because they carried a love that felt older than time itself. Then something unexpected happened. Your soulmate began noticing small details connected to you that they had completely overlooked before. A random song, an old memory, a familiar place, even conversations with strangers suddenly seemed to point back to you. None of it made sense on its own, yet together it formed a pattern too powerful to ignore. Deep inside, They felt as if the vision wasn't showing them a fantasy, it was preparing their heart for something they weren't ready to understand. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you, and the most emotional part of this story has not even begun. The more they reflected on that mysterious child, the stronger one question became. Why did that child smile with such certainty? The answer arrived in the most unexpected way. During another quiet evening, they remembered one tiny detail they had missed completely. Before the vision disappeared, the child had gently placed a tiny object into their hand. They hadn't understood its meaning at first, but now they realized it wasn't an ordinary gift. It represented trust, the kind of trust that exists long before two hearts finally stop running from each other. At that very moment, your soulmate broke down once again, because they finally understood why tears had come so naturally. They weren't crying because they feared losing you. They were crying because, for the first time, they believed a future with you could truly exist. Don't skip. Because the next revelation changes the meaning of everything they thought they saw. Just when they believed the vision had revealed everything, one final memory returned with absolute clarity. As the child slowly disappeared into the glowing light, they looked back one last time and quietly whispered, "Tell them not to lose hope yet." Those words have echoed inside your soulmate's heart every single day since then. They haven't found the courage to speak them aloud, but they carry them everywhere they go. They now believe that some connections aren't built overnight, they unfold one revelation at a time. And what they are about to discover next will answer the one question they have been too afraid to ask themselves: why were they chosen to witness this vision before anyone else? Sometimes the greatest answers arrive in complete silence. Don't skip, because this was the moment your soulmate realized the vision was still unfolding. They couldn't forget the child's final smile, so they stopped searching for logical explanations and simply listened to their heart. That's when another forgotten detail suddenly returned. In the vision, the child wasn't looking at the future with excitement alone. They were looking at both of you with complete peace, as if every difficult chapter had already passed. Your soulmate froze. They finally understood that the vision wasn't asking them to fear tomorrow, it was reminding them that some stories are worth waiting for. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next discovery is the one they never expected to make. As that realization settled into their heart, they remembered hearing soft laughter one final time. It wasn't ordinary laughter. It carried warmth, comfort, and a feeling of home. Then they noticed something they had completely missed before. The child wasn't standing between you and your soulmate, the child was gently bringing both of your hands together. That single moment explained everything. The vision had never been about predicting every detail of the future. It was about revealing the strength of a bond that refused to disappear, no matter how much time, distance, or uncertainty stood in the way. Your soulmate couldn't stop the tears because they finally understood that real love isn't measured by how quickly two people meet, it is measured by how deeply they are meant to change each other's lives. Don't skip, because the final piece of this unforgettable vision is still waiting. Just before the vision faded forever, your soulmate looked into the child's eyes one last time. There was no fear, no confusion, only complete certainty. The child smiled gently and pointed toward a bright path stretching far into the distance, almost as if saying that every step taken with patience would eventually lead to the place where both hearts truly belonged. Your soulmate woke up with tears still on their face, carrying a peace they had never known before. Since that day, they have quietly believed that this vision entered their life for a reason, and that the most meaningful chapter of your story has not been written yet. What they discover next will reveal why this vision appeared at exactly this moment, and why its final message changes everything. There was one final detail your soulmate never told anyone. Don't skip, because this was the moment that changed the way they looked at your connection forever. Days after the vision, they found themselves smiling for no reason whenever your name crossed their mind. It wasn't because they suddenly had every answer. It was because they carried a quiet certainty that had never existed before. Then they remembered something almost impossible to forget. Just before the vision ended, the child didn't simply smile. They looked directly into your soulmate's eyes with complete confidence, as if saying, "When the time is right, you'll understand why you were shown this." Those words settled deep within their heart, and from that day forward, every doubt began losing its power. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the most meaningful revelation is still ahead. The more your soulmate reflected on that unforgettable moment, the clearer everything became. They realized the vision had never focused on wealth, success, or perfect circumstances. It focused on something much greater, the feeling of belonging. In that peaceful place, nothing seemed rushed. Nothing felt forced. Every smile, every glance, and every heartbeat carried the quiet promise that some connections grow stronger with patience instead of speed. That's why they couldn't stop crying. For the first time in a long time, they believed that love wasn't asking them to chase, it was asking them to trust. Don't skip, because the final message hidden inside this vision is the one that ties every clue together. As the memory continued to unfold, your soulmate understood one last truth. The child never asked them to predict the future. Instead, the child reminded them to protect hope, even when life offered unanswered questions. That realization became the greatest gift they had ever received. Ever since that extraordinary vision, they have carried a quiet peace, believing that every meaningful story unfolds one step at a time. And just when they thought the mystery had finally ended, another unexpected sign appeared, one that connected every moment of the vision in a way neither of you could have imagined. That final revelation is still waiting, and it changes the meaning of this entire journey. What happened next was the one memory your soulmate couldn't escape. Don't skip, because everything they had experienced suddenly came together in a way they never imagined. One quiet evening, they closed their eyes once more. hoping to remember the child's face. Instead of seeing the entire vision again, they remembered a single expression, a smile filled with absolute peace. It wasn't the smile of someone hoping for a happy ending. It was the smile of someone who already knew one was waiting. In that instant, your soulmate realized why the tears had never truly stopped. They weren't mourning something they had lost, they were overwhelmed by something their heart had finally begun to believe. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the final piece of this story is closer than ever. Then another hidden detail returned with stunning clarity. Throughout the vision, the child had never looked worried, not even once. Every step they took carried confidence, as if they already knew that every delay, every misunderstanding, and every unanswered question would eventually make perfect sense. Your soulmate suddenly understood that the vision had never been asking them to fear the future. It had been quietly inviting them to hold on to hope, even when they couldn't yet see the full picture. That realization filled them with a feeling they had never experienced before. It was calm, it was reassuring, and it was powerful enough to replace every doubt that had lived inside them for so long. Don't skip. Because the ending of this journey reveals the reason this vision appeared at exactly this moment. As your soulmate looked back on everything they had seen, one truth became impossible to ignore. Some moments enter a person's life not to answer every question, but to prepare their heart for what comes next. The child, the smile, the silent message, and the tears were all connected to one unforgettable purpose. To remind them that the deepest connections are built on faith, patience, and unwavering hope. Since that day, they have carried the vision like a quiet promise, believing that one day every missing piece will finally fit together. And when the final revelation arrives, you'll understand why this extraordinary vision became the moment that changed your soulmate forever. This is the one truth your soulmate finally accepted. Don't skip, because the ending of this story isn't about a vision. It is about what that vision awakened inside their heart. Long after the tears had dried, they realized they were no longer searching for proof. The peace they felt was stronger than any explanation. Every time they remembered that child, they also remembered the feeling of unconditional love that surrounded the entire moment. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, gentle, and unforgettable. In that silence, your soulmate understood something they had never understood before. The most meaningful journeys begin long before two people can see the destination. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the final message changes the meaning of everything you've heard. Then the last missing piece finally fell into place. Your soulmate remembered that the child had never spoken about tomorrow, next year, or any specific day. Instead, the child smiled as if to say, "The future is built by every choice to keep believing today." Those simple words stayed with them because they carried a truth that reached deeper than anything else in the vision. They realized that love is not strengthened by certainty, it is strengthened by hope, patience, and the courage to keep moving forward even when every answer hasn't arrived yet. That realization was the reason they couldn't stop crying. Those tears became a reminder that some moments are too meaningful to be forgotten. Don't skip, because the final sentence of this story is the one your soulmate will carry forever. As your soulmate looked toward the future with a peaceful heart, they no longer saw unanswered questions, they saw endless possibilities. The vision of that smiling child became a quiet promise that hope is never wasted and that every meaningful connection leaves a lasting mark on the heart. Whether the road ahead feels near or far, they now believe that every step has a purpose, every lesson has meaning, and every moment of patience is shaping something beautiful. And whenever they remember that unforgettable smile, one feeling rises above everything else: gratitude. Because in that extraordinary vision, they didn't just see a future child, they discovered a future filled with hope, love, and a reason to keep believing, no matter what today looks like. One question remained in your soulmate's heart. What if the vision wasn't shown to reveal the future, but to transform the person who witnessed it? Don't skip, because this realization became the most unforgettable moment of all. They began noticing that every fear they once carried slowly started fading. Instead of wondering whether everything would work out, they found themselves becoming grateful for the journey itself. The image of that smiling child never disappeared. It returned in quiet moments, reminding them that the deepest connections are never built through rushing, they grow stronger through trust, kindness, and unwavering hope. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the final message hidden inside this story is unlike anything you've heard so far. Then your soulmate remembered one last detail they had completely overlooked. As the child walked away, they didn't look back with sadness. They looked back with complete confidence, almost as if they already knew your story would continue exactly as it was meant to. That single glance changed everything. Your soulmate finally understood why they had cried so deeply. Those tears weren't about uncertainty anymore. They were the heart's response to a moment that felt bigger than words. From that day on, whenever life became confusing, they returned to that memory. It reminded them that not every meaningful answer arrives immediately, but every meaningful answer arrives at the right time. Don't skip, because the ending of this journey holds the most powerful truth of all. Now your soulmate carries that vision like a quiet light within their heart. They no longer see it as a mystery to solve, but as a gift that changed the way they see love, hope, and tomorrow. Whenever they remember the child's peaceful smile, they feel the same warmth that filled the vision from beginning to end. And perhaps that was the greatest revelation all along, not that they were shown every detail of the future, but that they were given the courage to believe in it. As this story comes to its final chapter, one unforgettable message remains: some visions fade from the eyes, but the ones that change your heart stay with you forever.